welcome to our tutorial on transferring a patient. First, we're going to start out in supine. We'll bring Hannah up to a sitting position, and then we'll transfer her using a slide board over to her wheelchair. So right now, this bed is a little bit too low to me, so I'm going to show you the best way to use your body mechanics to be able to roll her over properly. So first things first, we want to get Hannah set up. So we're going to bring her hands this way. And we want to bring this leg up so her foot is flat on the mat. And then, because this is too low and I don't want to be punching over like this, I want you to come down into a split stance. This way, you can really use your legs, you're not hunching as much. So let Hannah's like this. We're just going to roll her over. Great. We're going to bring both of her legs a little bit further in. I'm going to take this hand, and I want this to be under her shoulder. The legs are going to work as a counterweight, so those should just fall off the mat as I lift her up. So I'm going to be pushing down on her hip, and then lifting under her shoulders. So we're going to go up on 3. 1, 2, and she's up. So we want to make sure that she is far enough forward so her feet are flat on the ground. So to do that, we're going to help do some weight shifting. So Hannah's going to lean this shoulder into my shoulder, and come forward. And we're going to do the other side. And we're going to check her feet. Great. Good. First things first, to get started, you want to make sure our environment is set up. So you want to make sure that your wheelchair is parallel to the bed. The armrest closest to the bed is off. The brakes are on. And the casters are set up so that the chair won't move easily. And we're good. Next thing is that we want to make sure our patient is set up well. So she has a safety belt on, and her feet are flat on the floor. We want to make sure that we are in a good distance, that this slide board actually covers the distance from the bed over to the wheelchair. And we're looking good. So in order to get this slide board underneath Hannah's hips, we're going to actually bring Hannah forward and then lean her away from the wheelchair. So whenever I'm leaning Hannah away, I want to make sure that one of my knees is blocking hers, and I'm in a split stance. I really want to be able to use my legs to do the work instead of my arms. So we're just going to lean Hannah right now. And then we have our slide board set up, so that she'll be able to come over to the chair. Now when I'm moving Hannah, I want to make sure that I'm not sliding her across the board. I want to be making a rainbow movement. So we're going to be bringing Hannah forward, really using my legs, lifting her up and over. Rainbow. Okay, so leaning Hannah forward. You want to make sure that your hands are right under her hips. So I'm going to bring this hand here. Great. So I'm going to take this slide board out. So I'm leaning Hannah away. Notice that my legs are around her knees, but she's not really set up that well. It's not good. So we're going to bring Hannah forward again, blocking her knees. We're going to get her set up. So I'm going to block her knees, lift her up, and then push using your legs. Perfect. Okay. We want to make sure that her legs are set up well, so feet are back on the floor. We're going to be putting our armrest back on the chair. Great.
For part 2 of this tutorial, we're going to show you the reverse order of the steps. So I'm going to move Meghan, using the slide board, back to bed, and then help her lay down for her night's rest. All right, so the first thing, obviously here we have the patient set up. I safely wheeled Meghan to this position, parallel to the bed, removed the closest armrest and also the leg rests, and I also positioned my casters and put on my brakes for safety. In order to place the board under Meghan, I'm going to lean her toward my shoulder that is farthest away from where I'm placing the board, and then place the board so that it is spanning the distance from the chair to the bed. To do this, I'm going to find that nice deep squat. I'm going to reach underneath Meghan's arm here and lean her towards my opposite shoulder, leaning her up and away and placing the board underneath. The next step is creating that same rainbow arc that Meghan described in the last video. For this, I'm again going to find that split stance, rock Meghan back until I start to feel her hips lift from the chair, and then I will create that rainbow motion with my legs to move her either once or twice over so that she's sitting on the bed. So, to do that, I'm going to get in that split stance. I'm going to bring Meghan forward and away. And then Meghan, I'm actually going to reach under your arm here because that helps me get your hips here. One, repositioning me, also checking to make sure that my patient's feet are placed well here. I think we're going to need one more, so. Great. So, once your patient is on the bed, until you've positioned them safely, you want to make sure that you're still guarding them so they do not fall. Then I'm going to remove the board by, again, leaning Meghan away from the board and taking the board out. All right. Let's get Meghan sitting back in bed a little bit more before we lay her down. So to do that, we'll do the weight shifts. So I'm going to lean Meghan back and push her knee back, leaning away and pushing the knee back. Fabulous. All right, so now that I'm ready to lay Meghan down in bed, I can move my wheelchair so that we are able to move around the bed easily. So I'll take off the brakes and just move it back. Great, okay. So for this, we're going to basically do the reverse order again. I'm going to be protecting Meghan's shoulder on this side, and also I'll need to lift her legs up and onto the bed at the same time. So finding that nice low stance, I'm going to slowly lower you, Meghan, and bring your legs up. So now Meghan is laying on her side here. I'm just going to make sure that her arms are not going to be caught in any way. Finding that nice deep squat, gently rolling her back. From here, you may need to do little adjustments to make sure that your patient's legs are comfortable and also center her on the bed. And that is how you do slide board transfers when your patient is laying in bed to the wheelchair and back.